Greetings, CS240 students. Now it's time for the second big idea that assembler programmers need to know. And the second big idea is that not all data is going to be in the memory. Most of the time, the data that you touch is going to be in a special set of temporary variables that have been pre-declared for you. So inside of your program, there are these pre-declared registers they are called, which contain data. You don't get to use any name you want. They are actually built into the hardware. So the concept behind this is that the registers are closer to the machine, and the memory is usually where? It's usually off on, external memory chips that you can add more memory to your computer or something like that. So, but buried right in the middle of the CPU are these small number of temporary variables called registers. And they're kind of funny looking. A main one here, which we're illustrating, is called EAX. It's 4 bytes long. So EAX is the name for all 32 bits, 4 bytes. But you can actually access individually either the one low byte, the one right-hand low order byte they call it, because that's the right-hand part of the 32-bit number. And you can access the next byte over. And there's also another name, it's AX, for the bottom 2 bytes. So you can actually go into and get part of a variable. You can think of it like that, getting just part of an variable. So the registers is divided into 8-bit bytes. And there aren't, it's a memory, but there aren't that many of them. So here's the general pattern of the names of the registers. 4 of them are for general use. The next 2, you can use them as generally, but they also have some special uses. So for certain types of things you want to do with data, they have to be in those registers. And the last 2, even more specialized. And you can read about these. The web page for the class contains a pointer to a cheat sheet showing you all the general registers. Going back to the SASM view of writing code, SASM is your very simple IDE here. We saw before how you could look into memory, and this was our memory here. It was foo was 2 bytes, which was ASCII HI, or we could say it was in hex, those 2 bytes there. And then bar was this number 1005. In hex it was there. And that was a D word, which was 4 bytes. It was 1 D word, or 2 bytes over here, like that. But you'll notice we can also show registers. And these are, we're seeing on the right here, the contents of the registers. This is the same set of registers I showed you before, EAX, B, C, D, and then the 2 ESI and EDI, like that. They're in a different order. And in hex, this is their contents in hex. So here it's just showing you as 8 bytes, or 4 bytes. And it's not showing you the individual 1 byte AL, like that. So enough for now. And in the next video, we'll get to see some instructions actually moving data into registers.